Some of the problems that we ran into in the OR is with our OR shelves. Our instruments and stuff are, some of them we don't use often enough. They weren't organized properly. And then with the multiple pick tickets, which you heard about. So we had lots of wasted steps and lots of wasted space. This is a spaghetti map pre-Kaizen. Shows us we were going all over the core to get all of our items. So we were traveling at 255 feet per knee cart. This is our time observation form pre-Kaizen, and it was coming in at around 5:03. And this is our standard work combination sheet, just showing you all the walking and wasted walking, mostly. And now this is the shelf that we organize, so all of our common items are on one shelf, which will eliminate a lot of the movement, and we remove some of the instruments that we don't use on a day-to-day basis. This is our spaghetti sheet for the post-Kaizen, and we went from 255 feet to 82.5 feet of moving per knee case cart. And this is our time observation for post-Kaizen, and we went from 5:03 to 1 minute and 36 seconds to pick a total knee cart. And these are our charts for pre-Kaizen and post-Kaizen of picking times. So you can see there's been quite a drop-off from pre and post. And then this is our post-standard work combination sheet. So very little wasted movement. And now we have a standard work to go off of. And with the standard work, we just have to apply it now to all the staff in the OR. Thank you.
So this is a photograph of what the case cart looked like pre-Kaizen. And what we've done is we've actually tabulated all the items on the case cart. You'll see in the next slide. Sorry, that was the pre-Kaizen basket. This was picked without the dividers, so from the previous picture you can see the difference. This is also the pre-Kaizen picture of the case cart on the inside. You can see the items on top of the case cart. That's quite easy to fall off and then it's wasted. So what we did is we analyzed all the items on the case carts by surgeon. The surgeons were not shown. They were just given numbers, surgeon 1 through 9. And everything that's shaded in green is the item that that particular surgeon would use, the numbers of the items from the pick list on the right-hand side. And as you see, you go down on the pick list. When you get to the bottom of the tabulated list, you'll see that there are surgeons that uses one particular surgeon only would use one item, which created a lot of waste. In the next slide, you will see that only 3 items out of the 110 items used for knee surgery were used by all 9 surgeons, and that there were 50 items that was requested by a single surgeon that only one surgeon used. This is the 5S evaluation of the pre-Kaizen cart, which just shows at 1.92. I think that's where I stop, right?
Good afternoon. My name is Harry Newman. I'm an RN. I'm the orthopedic coordinator at the Pasco OR here. So basically our objective was to standardize a total knee arthroplasty case cart for all 9 surgeons using one pick ticket. So just go back a second, Mike. So our idea summary sheet basically had a general case cart for one surgeon that was overloaded, many supplies, and our goal at the end was to have one standard case cart with reduced supplies and in the end, happier nurses. So with Dr. Bligno and myself, along with Dr. Jones' permission, we devised a standard case cart we thought would be most suitable to meet the needs of all 9 surgeons. So that's kind of what the case cart ended up looking like. We then ended up 5S'ing the case cart. And again, once again, the pre-Kaizen 5S was 1.92, and the post-Kaizen 5S came out to 2.85. We then presented to 6 out of the 9 surgeons, and they all liked the idea of a standardized case cart, and their comments and feedback was then documented. And now the surgeons will basically have to go back to their group to finalize a standard case cart that the entire group can work on and agree with.
Hi, I'm Cindy Dumba. I'm the patient rep on the team, and first off, I want to thank you very much for inviting me to be part of this amazing process. As a patient and a total knee replacement recipient, I had no idea about the amount of work and the number of people it takes to ensure that we have surgery. From a patient's perspective, I think many of us believe it's just us and our surgeons involved. It was truly eye-opening to see how much time and effort it takes, and just how many people are involved in our path to surgery. This week, I witnessed great improvements on that pathway. I saw teamwork and willingness to change. I enjoyed seeing staff from SPD and the OR Core come together to understand how their work affects one another and watch them make great improvements to improve flow. My teammates, Dr. Bligno and Harry, did an outstanding job of creating a standard total knee replacement case cart, which has been well received by surgeons. I have a different perspective of what actually goes on behind the scenes to ensure a quality patient experience and a new appreciation of the work that goes on. It was a privilege and a pleasure to work alongside this team. It's very gratifying for a patient to be involved and heard. Thanks for allowing me to have some input, and I urge you to please continue with this great improvement work. Thank you.
So our patients, like Cindy, are the reason that we improve, and they're the reason that our goal is to eliminate defects, not reduce them, eliminate them. So how will we sustain the improvements that we made? Well, mistake proofing. So this week we created a system to track and to categorize defects in our case carts as they occur. We also established standard work so that we will have the unit coordinator and the manager from SPD reviewing on a bi-weekly basis all the defects that occur in our case carts. And then they will create mistake-proofing teams to address those bi-weekly defects. There's also standard work that we've created for our mistake-proofing teams, including things like observing what's actually being done in the process, root cause analysis, and then going through PDSA, or if you prefer, Kaizen cycles, to improve and improve until they reach 0 defects. And then finally, we've established multi-skills training for all the folks that will be involved in that.
And I'd like to reduce the defect of not being able to show the video. So this is our newspaper. Many items on the newspaper that we worked on, but I'd just like to highlight some of the items that we continue to have to work on. Communication with the surgeons involved is paramount to getting feedback and support and to continue this work. The case cart defects is a current ongoing problem, and that needs continued work and will have to continue beyond this RPIW week. And then the preference card information on the pick lists need to be updated on a regular basis, and that's going to be Harry's job, and I'm sure he looks forward to that. Before I hand over to Mike, just as a team, Mike, we'd like to say thank you for your leadership.
You're welcome. We've achieved some exciting things. I'm going to point out the ones that we think are most worthy of note. Inventory, first of all. So Lawrence talked about the number of different pieces of supplies and equipment that go on all of the knee carts. So a total of 110, not on any one cart, but across the whole 9. We've reduced that to 59. And that's a 46% reduction. And I want to make note of one particular surgeon who had among the smallest of the carts. We had the standardized cart, and then we have surgeon-specific kits. And he only had 2 items in his surgeon-specific kit. And when he came by and looked at it, he looked at them and said, "I don't need that one," and he reduced it further. So it was quite impressive. We looked at the walking distance. We made some really good improvements in the OR. Tyler talked about that with how they reorganized everything. Relatively simple stuff, and they cut their walking time down by 67%. Lead time. This was huge. In sterile processing, they pick the carts a day in advance. So the carts are sitting there 19 hours ahead of time sometimes. We don't need to do it a day in advance. in just our little experiment, we reduced it to 57 minutes. So they pick it in the morning, it goes up just before the case. And as we can see with some of the other numbers, it doesn't even need to be that long. We're going to track the quality defects. Carolyn went through the standard work that we've established. We're going to monitor that. That's going to be part of our 30, 60, 90-day audits. The big thing is the pick lists. So we had 9 different surgeons, each having their own knee cart, knee replacement list, and there were 3 lists. There was the one that the OR used, the one that sterile processing used, and the nurses had an additional one, so a total of 27. So now we've got 1 standard cart. We still have 9 physician, surgeon-specific kits, but this is we're on the road to getting 1 cart. We 5S'd, we made some improvement there, probably more work to happen. Next slide. Time from phone call made from the core to have the cart pulled up, 113 minutes, got down to 7 minutes and 30 seconds. If they really had to, they would need 7 minutes and 30 seconds advance notice to get a cart, an empty cart, to pick and up into the OR theater. Our cycle times in the OR reduced it by 92%, in sterile processing reduced by 43%, and we completely eliminated the RN having to do any picking. So some fantastic stuff. So what did we accomplish? I went through much of this. We standardized the cart, eliminated picking, reduced inventory and created space, achieved a common pick list, and something we haven't touched on, a lot better communication between the departments. That was huge. Some key learnings: everything can be leaned, one of our team members said. We really came out of this feeling confident that this process can work, and I think we might have created some confidence in other people that we interacted with. The littlest things have widespread impact. We thought this was a pretty small project to start with, but it's got ripples throughout both departments that are going to pay dividends. People are happy, and not just us, but the people we interacted with, they're happy about this. And we had fun, as some other folks have mentioned from some of the other teams. So, some thanks. So the staff in the sterile processing department in OR were very welcoming to us. They were participative. They were great all around, even when we were interrupting them and making their lives for a little while a lot more difficult. Our surgeons were, I think we were really, I don't think Lawrence was nervous, but I think the rest of us were nervous about what we would hear from these guys when we said, we want to change your carts. But what was really interesting is they had no idea what variation existed from their cart to the next. And that was a fascinating conversation that took place with all of them. So we had great support from Dr. Jones, and Dr. Fraser was the surgeon I mentioned earlier. Scott, Heather, and Greg from Pasqua Facilities, they helped us put together little basket things. Barry from security was letting us in. We had to get gowns just about every day. Jan helped us with that. Emily from OR Scheduling and Carla over at the RGH, they were very helpful to us around the codes. Marty in the Pasqua Hospital with OR was helping us just about every day. We were set up in Barb and John's office area, so we were disrupting them, and they were very hospitable. And I want to pay a special thanks to this group, because they were fantastic and just rolled up their sleeves every day. And it was simple for a team leader, that's for sure. And a big thanks to Cindy. She was great. I told her I'm going to try and get her on every RPIW we have. So she didn't seem to have a problem with that, I don't think. But anyway, that's it. Lots of great stuff, and we're thrilled to have been a part of it. Thanks.